Good morning, everyone. I am a special correspondent on the street, Pastor Dustin, doing an interview here for the early show with Rich Becker. It's so wonderful to be a part of this 2021 prayer-a-thon and revival at Messiah Lutheran Church as we work to make a place at the table for everyone. I'm here interviewing two very special guests, two dear friends of mine. Miss Tina Bascom, say hello.
Hey, everybody.
And Miss Joyce Gresham. Say hello.
Hi, everyone. Glad to see you.
It's so wonderful to see you back talking in another lovely box on my computer screen, Joyce. Like we've been so much over the last couple of years. Tina and Joyce are our daughter and mother, and they are a part of a multi-generation family here at Messiah. Both have been our parish administrator. So they both have so much history here in our spirit-filled community. And so I'm so thankful for them to be joining us together. So I think, first of all, and whoever wants to go first, just how are you doing? What's going on? It's been a while since we've been able to check in with both of you. So how y'all doing?
Go, Mom.
Well, as you can see, I'm doing well as can be expected. Didn't expect a stroke in July. I miss being with you all terribly. I didn't realize how much I would miss it until it doesn't happen. The accessibility for the new building is wonderful because if it doesn't happen, I will not be at Messiah again. So you see me as one of the prime reasons we need that accessibility. And I thank you all for your time, your talent, your contributions, and keep them coming. God bless.
Thank you, Joyce. Amen to all that. Thank you. Yeah. Tina, you want to? Hard to follow that up.
Yeah, I got to follow that. Jeez, Mom, thanks. Maybe I should have gone first. So I am, talking to you from windy, rainy Connecticut, and I have a church family here in Connecticut, but I always consider Messiah my home church. And really, during COVID, I tended to tune in to Messiah services more than I did my church in Connecticut. Just felt connected. I was born and baptized and confirmed and married, and my children were both baptized at Messiah. So I do have a little bit of history there. But yeah, it's great to be able to be back into in-person worship on all fronts, whether we're masked or whatever. It's great to be as a faith community. One of the first things I took Mom to after she was, able to move around a little more, it was the Messiah stock. And so that was the first time she had seen a lot of people since her stroke, and it was really great. She had a little queen chair, and it was great to see everybody, and that's a great family reconnect after the summer event. So that was really awesome. So as far as accessibility, if we're going to jump into that part of it right now, I think as we look at the those members that have been at Messiah the longest and given so much to Messiah, the fact that they are not able to access areas of the church is not exactly what Messiah is all about. So to be able to have that accessibility so that everyone, whether you come in with a physical disability or a mental disability or whatever your disability is, everyone should have access to every area. If there's a reception upstairs in the fellowship hall, there should be a way that you can get up there and be part of it and not feel excluded, because exclusion tends you to not participate.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Tina, as well. And, I think one thing I've been realizing, especially as we've just been sort of starting to kind of come back in person, is, and we just recently decided that we could start having, coffee hour, fellowship hour again up in the fellowship hall. And that's been so wonderful. And folks have, there's one Sunday where folks stayed for like an hour just to talk with one another, and how critical it was, and how, as much as worship is so central to who we are, it's, I think, an equally important spiritual practice to simply be sitting together around the table, having a snacks, sharing stories, and just being together in a place where everyone feels welcome. And so I know y'all both have so much history here. I've heard a few pretty interesting stories, but what are some of your best stories from Messiah? And go as long with that as you want. I want to hear some nitty-gritty details here.
So I guess my favorite silly story is, and I'm sure most people will, a lot of people know this or will remember it, but once Julie Town and I were confirmed, we continued to come to church. And at that point in time, there were 2 worship services. There was one at 7:30 in the morning, and then there was a later one. Well, Julie and I always chose to go to the 7:30 service, which was where most of the seniors attended. And we would meet together. I'd pick her up, she'd pick me up. We'd go to Dunkin' Donuts, we'd get coffee, we'd get a donut, and then we'd go to church every Sunday without fail. At that point, we were juniors and seniors in high school, and we did it every Sunday. But one Sunday in particular, Pastor Rose was our pastor at the time. We just kind of, felt called by the Holy Spirit to send a jelly donut up in the offering plate. And
I never got that.
And we just sat back there in the back row in our little pew and watched it all happen, and we're waiting to see his reaction when he saw it. The ushers were great. They didn't give away anything. I can't even remember who was ushering at that time, but yeah, so that's one of my favorite silly memories, as well as doing the gong show and the talent show, and all the youth things we did. We spent numerous hours at the Underkofflers, hanging out there as youth. I also, some of my really fond memories are when I was in high school, a senior in high school, I actually took over the youth group, which at that time was mostly kids that were probably like anywhere from 10th grade and down to like 8th grade. And so I took that over, and I also took over those Sunday school classes. So I kind of taught the senior high classes as a high school student, young college student myself. So I was also the very first, the youngest person ever to serve on council at that time. And I was the council secretary. So, kind of things that, so I've always been part of, I grew up in the church office. The memories I have of, hanging out with mom, and, Christmas doing the bulletins on the mimeograph machine and changing the ink, and, having to redo things because you put the stencil on backwards, and so I grew up in the church office, so it's not unfamiliar to me. So it's not surprising that I followed in my mother's footsteps.
Are you excited for the location of the new office?
Yeah, I think that's going to be awesome. I mean, it's like, I was looking at the plans and I'm like, wow, that's going to be great. No longer the little cave in the office, which has been the office since day one, right, Mom? Like the office hasn't changed locations.
No, it was supposedly to my specifications. Unfortunately, they didn't listen to me. So that's what it was.
Yep.
Well, we will definitely be having a lot of your input this go around. And for both of you, you both bring so much experience here. Joyce, yeah, what are some of your favorite memories growing up, being so many generations here at Messiah?
I can remember we used to have a church bowling league, and we would always have the banquet on a Saturday evening late. And I can remember going to, a lot of you old people will know, the Edgewood for the banquet, and realized that I had not folded or put the bulletins in Sunday morning service. So if I did not show up, so Joan Geyer, my next door neighbor, and I ran from Edgewood to Messiah, which was only a couple of blocks, and folded envelopes and bulletins. That's one of my most memorable stories. I have lots. Over the 23 years, I have loads and loads. I also have secrets that will stay with me until I die. So, but it's
for a Zoom broadcast.
been
Okay.
a wonderful ride.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think one more question. I didn't prompt you for this one, but I don't think it's a hard one. That I'd love to ask both of you. So, right, Tina was the parish administrator when I first got here, almost 8 years ago. And obviously Joyce has been involved in so many things. I feel like both of you pretty much like half taught me how, like all the things I didn't learn at seminary about how to be a pastor, like you two and a few others like are the ones that taught me how to do it. I don't know, how does it feel to see things evolve, and as folks that have been around so long, like what are you most excited? I mean, obviously this building, but is there other things you're kind of excited about in the future, or changes you've seen that have been meaningful for you, or anything like that you want to comment on?
So it's a little harder for me because of the distance, and I'm not like present, so I don't get to witness, all the things that are going on. I certainly hear about them. I read my email blast every week and my newsletter. So thank you for always keeping me up to date that way. But I think where Messiah is where Messiah is meant to be. It's so amazing to see the growth, the community involvement, which is what people want. People want to be involved in their communities, and it's great to be, doing, global things, but people really want to just be in their community and give back to their community. And Messiah's done a really good job of that over the years and continues to do that. Being a welcoming, friendly congregation, being open to changes. Change is hard, change is not easy. And the fact that everyone is open to change, and while you don't always like it, that it's the best thing. It's the best thing for the church. It's the best direction for everyone. So it's really amazing to see all of that happen, and the support that goes behind that from everyone. It's not just, this group and that group. It's absolutely everyone. So that's kind of like what's really exciting for me to see. I love when I come back and I can go to church, and that works out great. So, I miss it. I miss my Messiah family. So, I have my St. Paul family, but it's not my Messiah family. So.
Well, we love how often you have been able to join us even in this weird world as of late.
Yeah.
Joyce, any other thoughts that or things that you have that you identify as?
I'm just so surprised and pleased that some of our youth are taking an interest in coming back to Messiah. I'm not talking about the young kids. I'm talking about the mid-20s into the 30s. Mm-hmm. We're seeing a resurgence of that. and that is just wonderful, is because Messiah is offering something for all of us. And that's what's needed more.
Awesome. Awesome.
Volunteering is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do.
Yeah.
Please consider it.
Yeah. It's really cool to know that about a third of our council members are younger than I am. That's not typical for many churches, right? So I guess as we wrap up here, and as folks are, kind of in this kind of final weekend, right? It's the 56th anniversary of when we laid the groundstone for our sanctuary on Reformation Sunday. As folks are considering, how they're going to be able to participate in this campaign, is there any final things you want folks to know? Any kind of final stuff you want to lift up?
I think what I would say is to stay informed, continue, if you're not sure about something, ask a question, continue to be involved and, move forward, whatever that direction is for you in your life, but just go through this process informed. Make sure you gather all the information you can so that you feel comfortable with what's happening.
Thank you, Tina. Joyce, any final thoughts?
And I think everybody should consider how important Messiah is to you. Very important to us. Our whole family just thrives on Messiah. That's all we've ever. People will say to me, "You're still going there?" You bet I'm still going in. There's no place I'd rather be. I miss you. I miss you all. And God bless you all.
All right. Well, Joyce, thank you for that. Tina, thank you as well. And Rich, back to you in the studio. And thank you so much again, friends, for joining us on the early show with Rich Becker. And we'll send it on back.